I am Nick Shell, and this is day number 2 with no pomade in this, with my hairstyle here with the disconnected part. Oh, and there went our comment. There it is. Do you see it? Oh, gotta get it. In case you're new here, by the way, the comments that you leave end up growing on trees, and then I read them. So I just got a new one, and I think it's worth making a video for. So the video was an older one. I did it a long time ago, but it was called "How to Know If Your Hairline is Receding." So someone named, and I'll just pronounce it, Seo Young Ho is my Yapa. We'll just call it that. That's my understanding of how to pronounce it. A very short comment that basically said this: I'm 13, why me? Okay, so let's talk about that. For someone who's 13 years old watching my video, they see signs that maybe they're losing the first signs of hair loss, okay? I'm not denying that you could be 13 and have the first signs of hair loss. I'm not denying that. I'm saying it's pretty unlikely, but it is possible. But the first thing I would say in that situation, if you think that if you're in your teen years and you think that you're losing your hair, what I would suggest you do with the first thing is watch a video that I made a couple days ago. And it was called, "Am I Going to Lose My Hair? The 7 Stages of the Norwood Scale." So just find that, because I just did it a couple days ago. Again, it's called "Am I Going to Lose My Hair? The 7 Stages of the Norwood Scale." And it's a more enhanced version of the other one, "How to Know If Your Hairline is Receding." We go through the 7 stages of the Norwood Scale, which each gradient of hair loss. And I think it helps put things in perspective. My guess is, if you're 13 and you're freaking out about losing your hair, my guess is you might be jumping the gun. My guess is, because as I explained in the other video that I just talked about, that when I was a kid, I had hair that grew like basically on my face, like it was rounded off like this. And then maybe sometime after 16, that started kind of going away, so that by the time I was 18, it was straight across. And then from that point forward, after 18, going into 19 and 20, then we started seeing this go up a little bit here, causing there to be a V. That was, even by 21, was very obvious. And then by the time I hit 30, it turned into the letter M. And then, of course, by that time is when the thinning started occurring up front and in the back a little bit. So my guess is, if you're 13, I would have to assume that you don't have the M that I have. You don't have the island form. And you might have a little bit going up here. And maybe that is a sign that by the time you're 21, you'll be, for the most part, bald. I don't know. But I think you might be jumping the gun on this. But I do, again, I want to refer you to the other video called "Am I Going to Lose My Hair? The 7 Stages of the Norwood Scale." It's like a 10-minute video, but I definitely think it'll be worth your time to help you put things in perspective. Now, let's talk worst case scenarios. Let's say you really are 13 and starting to lose your hair now, and you start to see the signs of it. And by the time you're 20, you don't have hair on top. Let's just go there. Let me take you to the worst case scenario so we can figure out what to do that. Because what I understand is, even in that situation, you'd be too young to get a hair transplant, even if you wanted one, because my understanding is you have to be in your early 20s, like 22, 23, before most people will work with you on that. So, I mean, it's a matter of accepting that could be your fate. Because, and again, you're only 13, whereas I'm 36, I'm nearly 3 times your age. And I didn't go through that at such a young age. But fundamentally, let's get something on the table now. Let's talk about this. The question, why me? And there's some psychology there. Let's go ahead and address that psychology. Obviously, why you? It's not like, anyone's punishing you, that you deserve this to be without hair, okay? You didn't deserve this. It's not punishment, okay? But psychologically, to overcome this, what are you going to do about it? I think it's going to take a mentality of acceptance, and I would have to say that might be the first level of accepting. You may not lose your hair by 20. You may be 25. I don't know. None of us know. But it's a matter of, right now, it sounds like you're in a stage of acceptance, of thinking, why me? So once you get past that stage, you can start accepting it and thinking, man, worst case scenario, okay, I get it. I'll be the guy that's shaving my head at 20 or doing whatever it takes to try to save my hair. But that's part of the new identity that you might have to accept. I hate to tell you that there are teenage guys that experience hair loss, but there are. And of course, no one's happy about it when it happens to them. And of course, it's a very unfortunate thing for it to happen so young. But you're in that level of kind of bargaining and getting to that point of acceptance right now. Your identity will change. It's about reinventing and understanding who you are. You won't be the guy at age 20 that has the man bun, huh? You might be the guy that shaves his head. That may be you. That may be your new identity. I don't know. But before I fast forward you to that fate, to that point, I'm begging you to watch that 10-minute video that I watched, because I think it's important for you to identify where you are on the Norwood scale. Because if you see a V, then that would be Norwood 2. If you can clearly see a V. If you were at me, you'd be Norwood 3, where you have an island. I have to think at 13 you're not either of those. I doubt it. I think you're starting to see a little bit, but that I've been having a receding hairline basically since 18, and now I've lived twice. I've lived 18 years since then, and I'm still here. So I don't want you to freak out. I want you to look more into this, okay? Because freaking out's not going to help, okay? And living in denial is not going to help either. I think you need to learn more. I think that's the next step for you. At 13 or 15, or when teenage boys watch my videos and they freak out, I think that's who I'm making this video for today. That's my suggestion. I'm going to read the name of that title one more time. I'm not going to make it easy for you by putting in a link. You have to want this bad enough to look it up. Go on my channel, type in this: am I going to lose my hair? The 7 stages of the Norwood scale. I think that's going to help you. And if you still think that you're as bad as this at age 13, then let me know. But I don't think that you are. I don't think that your hairline forms kind of this thinning patch in the front, and see, it'd be one thing if it were just a V, but for me, there's no corners left. It's just rounded off. When when you have that V for Norwood 2, you'd still have corners. So this is kind of your starter kit. This is to get you going as far as helping you figure out, truly identifying that you actually are experiencing any kind of true hair loss, or if you're just like me, losing those rounded off kid hairs and actually losing your hair. That's what I've got to say. Please watch that video, because I want you to get help and not freak out.